In this video, we are going to discuss why most engineers fail VCF interviews in 2026. You may have 8 years, 10 years, even 15 years of VMware experience if you have completed many certification. But still, many of us are failing the VCF interview in 2026. Today, I'll explain why this happens and what interviewers are actually listening for in VMware Cloud Foundation interviews in 2026. This is the number one reason most engineers fail VCF interviews. Most engineers explain what a future does, but interviews are testing why you choose it. Let me show you a real interview example. So here the interviewer asks, why did you choose vSAN for the management domain? Now most of us, answer like because it is VMware recommended. This answer sounds correct, but in interview it's actually a red flag because what you are really saying is you are repeating the documentation. Now this is what the interview actually expects. A strong answer would be we choose vSAN for the management domain because it is lifecycle managed by SCDC manager. Then it reduces dependency on external storage and it simplifies upgrade rollback during management domain failures. So there is a difference between the answers here, right? This answer, here we understand the life cycle management. Here it shows we understand failure scenarios. Here it shows we understand operational risk, and it most importantly it looks it sounds like a decision maker, not a document reader. That's why engineers fail here. So if you answer what, you sound like a junior. If you explain why, then you can sound like an enterprise candidate, enterprise ready candidate in the interview. And this is just reason number one. Let's move to the next one. This is the second big reason engineers fail VCF interviews. VCF interviews are not vCenter interviews. They are not vSAN interviews and they are not NSX interviews. But this is where most engineers go wrong. They explain each component separately or they will isolate each component. They talk about vCenter here, vSAN there, NSX separately. That's not what VCF interviews are about. VCF interviews are about how everything breaks together. Interviews are listening for, do you understand dependencies? Do you know upgrade sequencing? Do you understand the blast radius when something fails? For example, they don't care if you know every NSX feature. They care if you can explain what happens to the platform when NSX fails during an upgrade from VCF perspective. And here is the hard truth. If you cannot explain platform impact, you don't sound like a VCF engineer. You sound like a single product admin. And in VCF for interview, that means you fail. That's reason number two. Now let's move to the next one. This is the third reason engineers fail VCF interviews. Interviewers normally love failure questions, not because they want to trap you, but because failures show how you think under pressure. They will ask a scenario like suppose if management domain is down or NSX upgrade is stuck or vSAN health degrades during lifecycle management or an edge node fails during BJP reconvergence. Okay. Now here is the most common weak answer. So normally what we will say? We'll say that we restore from backup. That answer immediately tells the interview one thing. You are reacting, not thinking. Because backups are the not first step. Okay. They are a last resort or the last option. A strong answer would be first identify which management service is impacted in VCF, whether it is SDDC manager, vCenter or NSX. Then we evaluate whether workload domains are affected. Recovery priority depends on control plane dependency, not on VM availability. This answer shows you stay calm during failure. You understand the dependencies because in VCF we have multiple components, right? We need to understand the complete dependencies, and also you know how to prioritize recovery, which component we need to bring first, which we need to bring second. Those things, like we know how to prioritize, and this is very critical from production perspective. VCF interviews don't reward an speedy answer. They reward like a calm answer, structured thinking under failure. If you panic, then you will fail. If you think clearly, you can pass the VCF interviews. This is the reason number 3. Let's move on to the next one. This is the fourth reason engineers fail VCF interviews. In 2026, automation is expected, but blind automation is a red flag. Many candidates proudly say everything should be automated. That statements sounds modern, but not to an interviewer. It sounds a bit dangerous. Okay, because it tells them you trust script more than judgment. Okay, now here's an interview winning answer for this automation kind of stuff. Automation is mandatory for repeatable day-to-day operations, but it becomes risky during recovery or emergency rollback scenarios. That we need to keep that in mind. This answer shows you understand where automation adds value, you understand where automation increases risk, you know when human must take control. And this is the key point. Interviews are not hiring script runners. They are hiring engineers who can make decisions. If you push automation everywhere, definitely you are going to fail. If you apply automation with judgment, yes, you can pass the VCF interview. This is reason number 4. Now let's move to the next one. This is a big failure point in VCF interviews. Many engineers still think upgrades like in this way. Okay, they're thinking that we need to patch ESXA separately, upgrade vCenter separately, upgrade NSX separately. That mindset might work in a traditional VMware setup, but in VCF it's completely wrong. VCF upgrades are about like a bill of material driven life cycle, pre-check awareness, then version lock importance, and most importantly, rollback planning. Rollback planning is very important in production. That's why interviewers often ask this question: what happens if the NSX upgrade fails in the midway in VCF? Now, here is the danger. If your answer does not clearly explain compatibility, the upgrade order, then the platform impact, then the recovery strategy, then the interviewer already know the result that you are failed, because in VCF upgrades are not technical tasks, they are risk management exercises. If you treat VCF upgrade like normal VMware upgrades, you fail the interview. If you treat them like platform lifecycle events, then you can pass the interview. That is reason number 5. Now let's move to the final one. This is the sixth and final reason engineers fail VCF interviews. VCF engineers are not hired just to explain technology. They are hired to explain risk. Interviewers are listening for things like, what is the downtime impact? How does this affect the SLA? What is the change window risk? Are we audit and compliance ready? But most candidates answer only at a technical level. And here is the reality. A technical only answer sounds like a junior mindset. Okay, it looked like you are a junior. A risk aver answer sounds like an enterprise mindset when you speak about business impact, operational risk, stability, and compliance. In that case, you sound like someone who can be trusted with the production platform. Okay. If you talk any only about the futures, then you'll get failed. If you talk about risk and impact, definitely you can pass the interview. That is reason number 6, and that's why most engineers fail VCF interviews. So in interviews, don't use keywords like as per VMware documentation, best practice says, normally we do. Okay, you in that case, the interview feels like you don't sound confident, you sound unsure. Okay, you are not sure about a particular thing. And in a VCF interview, uncertainty is dangerous. Interviewers don't want to hear what the document says. They want to hear what you have seen in your experience. That's why they prefer answers like, in production, I've seen this break. In VCF environment, this is risky because those statements tell the interviewer one thing. Okay, so confidence does not come from memorization. Confidence comes from thinking. So if you speak like a fresher with experience, you feel you'll fail. Okay, if you speak like someone who has handled production, then definitely we're going to pass the VCF interview. At the end of the day, this is what interviews are actually looking for. They want someone who can think platform wide, predict failures before they happen, explain trade-offs, not just futures. Okay, reduce operational risk, handle upgrades safely in the production environment, and speak comfortably with both engineers and managers. That's the difference between an admin and a platform owner. In 2026, companies are expecting platform owners, not admins. Most engineers don't fail the VCF interview because they lack knowledge. They fail because they think like admins, not platform owners. In the next video, I'll show you what interviewers actually expect from a VCF 9 engineer. Okay, so subscribe to SMS Test Desk if you want to crack VCF interviews the right way. We are going to upload more videos related to interviews in the upcoming days.